Well, welcome back to another episode of Level Up with Gal. We have a very special guest joining us today. Let's welcome Justin Starr Ingram, who is a psychic medium, Reiki healer, magical, beautiful, amazing soul. Welcome, Justin, to the show. How are you doing and feeling today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm super excited if you can't tell. I love all your stuff and I can't wait for people to get to know you more today. So can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Justin Starr Ingram. As you said before, I'm a practicing psychic medium and I'm also a Reiki master. So I do energy healings and help people release trauma and different energetic cords that are attached to, just energies that we need to release so that we can move forward. And then I also do different psychic readings like tarot cards, past life readings, working with what's called the Akashic records. Like it gets very deep in the spiritual realm.
Love it. Thank you. And we'll dive in more, you guys. So hold on tight. So how long have you been a healer? How long have you been in business? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I've been a healer my whole life, but I was doing it in the ways that most of us do, where we're not really aware of what we can do because it's not really promoted in that type of way until recently. Like now we're having this whole awakening. People are very interested in, what else is going on? Like we understand physical life, but what about our spiritual life? What about dreams? What about manifestations? Things like that. Like, how does all of that work?
Mhm.
So I'm here to really bring like a fresh perspective and help people understand what's going on so that there's less fear over these things. Because many people, they hear like spiritual or healer, or psychic, and then they turn the other way. But it's usually based off of them just not really having information on what's really going on. So, that's like where I kind of come into play. I'm here to help bring in the spiritual babies and also those that are spiritually aware and have been in this for years up to a new level. Like I am somewhat of a catalyst for those that are ready for like obviously the next spiritual level. So just kind of got a blank. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That was perfect. Yeah. So you mentioned like spiritual level, right? So let's talk about that a little bit and like explain to the people, what does that mean, right? How do they know when they're ready to enter that?
Okay, so when I talk about different spiritual levels, it depends on what you're interested in and what you need. So if your life isn't really going the way that you want, the visions that you see for yourself for the future aren't really coming about how you see it, then that's where you get spiritual help, or you would start getting training, or that's where we start reading. Usually it's like a lot of reading because it's about understanding and then being able to apply those understandings in our life. For example, manifestation. We're all taught the secret, like are not taught, but that's something that's relevant. It's like, oh, the secret, manifest. There's actually something called the 7 Hermetic Principles, where when you learn those, then you're able to have a fuller grasp on what's going on in the universe rather than just here on Earth or just at our jobs or in our families. It's like we're stepping into a whole new cosmic understanding of what's going on that allows us to heal our families, ourselves, our friends, the people that we love, when before that wasn't necessarily an option except for, like physical things like, oh, go get a checkup. Like that was the thing. Like, did you go get a checkup? Oh no, I should probably go get that. Now it's about us getting checkups for our spirit self, which is the self that you access when you're by yourself, like your true self, or when you go to sleep and you dream, or when you're just in your head and you're just going through your own thoughts. That's your spiritual self, like that's your consciousness, rather than just your physical body. So, yes.
No, that was awesome. Yeah. So let's say someone who's brand new to it and they're listening, like, I think I want to do that, but I'm afraid of it. What would you say is like the first step? Is it reading? Is it talk to someone? And if they're like, I don't know about this stuff, like it's too woo for me, what would you say to them?
I would suggest to go on Amazon or go to a metaphysical or crystal shop and just look around. That's where it starts, because the crystals hold a vibration based off of the color that they are, and that's why they are that color, because color is a vibration. That's why let's say that you see a purple amethyst. That crystal is vibrating to the color purple. And let's say that someone walks into a crystal shop, like the viewers, let's say that you walk into a crystal shop and you get drawn to a purple amethyst or just any crystal. That's what you would get because that's the guidance that you're being guided to. Or let's say you go to the book area and then a book is just like, you can't stop looking at it. You're like, why do I keep looking at this book about Egypt? It's like, I don't understand. These are our spiritual guides and our spiritual team, because we all come to earth with a spiritual team. We're not here alone. We're kind of led to believe that sometimes, just because from a lack of knowledge, it causes more lack of knowledge. But that's why all the knowledge is coming about again. Like, it's coming out from the hidden depths of wherever it was. We have access to just new information rather than the typical things that are at libraries, because that, like, libraries are good, but they don't necessarily have like the metaphysical spiritual information that's going to help, whoever's interested get that information you're looking for. For example, for me, it was me learning, is death real? That was a huge thing. And for me, we can say it's real because our bodies don't hold us forever, but where do we go? Like, do we disappear? Right. Is that the end? I've learned from research, it's not the end. Like, it's not at all. We go to the same place we go when we dream, which is back to the higher dimensions, which is where we're from. We can all say that we were somewhere before we were a baby, before we were in a body, because we have memories that will come up, dreams that we'll experience that are not from our memories of this lifetime. And maybe everybody hasn't experienced that, but the dream space, the place that we dream at, that's the higher dimensions. The higher dimensions, people are always talking about, like, okay, we're in the third dimension. This is 3D world. We have orbs and globes. Okay, we get this. But then it goes higher and higher. But as we go higher, it gets more into what we refer to as spiritual, because you can't take your body higher. You don't dream and then you like take your body and then you get hungry in your dreams. You're like, oh, where's the food? And then you have to go buy food at the restaurant. It's like, it doesn't work in that way of your body needs it, so you have to do it, like how it is down here. If you get hungry, you're going to go eat eventually. But if you really think about it, there is no hunger or pain or just these physical sensations when we dream, because that is another place. It's a higher dimensional spirit, a spirit land. It's a place where all the spirits are. But when you start learning more about these things and these concepts, it makes it so that, like I was saying, the fear goes away, because then you understand what's going on. Many people, they'll have a nightmare and then they're scared because they don't know what that is. We have nightmares so that we can deal with the things that are bothering us or causing us to be scared, rather than it being a punishment or we went the wrong way and we're over here. If we experience negative dreams, it's so that we can release those negative fears and feelings. That's it. There are no punishments, or even when we get into karma. Karma is the law of cause and effect, like it's causality. It's not a punishment. If you were to, let's say, I don't know, like kick a tree, we'll say, just for a random thing, like you're just having a bad day, you kick a tree. There's a high chance that later on, something might kick you. It's just because the energy of kicking something, that just brings it back. And that's just on the more of a little low vibe, even though it's just kicking, because you kick a soccer ball, it's like, it's fine. But then when we get into the high vibrational things, if you see someone that is asking for change or something like that because they're having a hard time, or at a gas station, somebody comes up to you and asks for gas. If you decide to entertain, what the person is asking, and then help them how you can, that is going to then happen to you when you need help. Rather than it being you're a negative person, or you're a mean or bad person, so you have bad karma. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. Somebody that's in that energy is going through something that they eventually need to release to re-equalize their energies, rather than, like I said, it being a punishment. We all go through things so that we can learn. That's why when we do things, we have the energy return so that we know what the effect was for other people, rather than a punishment. Because I feel like karma is a whole thing where people are scared of it, because they think if you get something negative that you don't necessarily want, or that you didn't ask for, that you did something wrong. It's like, no, more than likely you had sent that energy, knowingly or not, and it's just returning. So that's why we like to stay in a high vibration, or what our world refers to as good or a nice person, that's someone that is giving and understands usually the laws of karma, whether they know it or not. And from that energies that they give out, they get it back. And then they enjoy their lives, and then some people, they don't understand that even a thought to a coworker that's negative, that still is not helping you have the day that you want, or you step into the energy in the life that you want to bring in. So being aware of our thoughts and aware of the things that we do, knowing that it's going to come back, helps us to understand what it means to be a spirit and to be spiritual, because that's the level that works on. It's not really physical, even though it does affect us here. It has to do with who we are and how we feel and how we interact with other spirits or other people. So hope that explained.
No, that definitely did, and I like how you explain that, because it makes it, for someone who's not in the spiritual world to understand, like, how does it work in the real world, right? Because I was just having a conversation with someone over the weekend, and he was like, I feel left out. I don't dream, right? Because you mentioned dreams. And me and one of my friends were talking about how much we dream, and she has nightmares. And I was talking about you, actually, like, hey, this is what I learned from Justin. And she was like, no, I don't want to remember my nightmares. So what would you say to someone who's like, I'm having nightmares, but I don't want to face it in real life?
Okay, so with that, that's the majority of people, because we don't like situations of feeling powerless, helpless, scared, confused, and that's what we'll refer to as the nightmare realm, or it's just a space of the dreamland, like I said before, so we can deal with fears. But many people, we have other things going on, and we prefer like happiness and joy and laughter and getting gifts, and the nightmares are just not that. So a way to not have to do it in the dream realm is to do it here in the 3D world, like in your regular life. What are the things that cause you fear? What are the things that make you scared? Those are the things where, because you have to face your fears eventually in some kind of way, but instead of in like the dream, like you're in this movie that you don't want to be in, instead write down the things that you're scared of. Because for example, a lot of my clients are parents, and they deal with fears of their kids, just not having the experience that they want for them, whether that's danger. It's usually perceived danger. The parents are thinking in their minds, I want my kid to be safe, but I know what the world is like. So it's usually the image of like some CSI, like mystery thriller movie, like where things aren't going in that high vibrational way that the parents want. So one of my suggestions is to, instead of seeing the negative, change the vision in your mind of seeing your kid get. So for example, a lot of kids go to parties and parents are like, I want everything to go well. So instead of seeing things go negative, like let's say them getting in a fight or something like that, like, oh no, I don't want that. My kid is not ready for that. Instead, see them getting in the car, getting in the Uber, everything going well, having a safe driver, get into the party on time. They get there, everybody's being safe. Everybody, like the energy is positive. Like it's somewhere where the parents would want to be. And then see your kid getting in the car safe with their friends, coming back home. That energy is 1,000 times more effective for the high vibrational positive outcomes that we are all looking for in the parents in this situation, where what you see and what you feel is what you're going to dream. So if what you feel is, let's say, fear of losing a job, what you would do is make the necessary steps so that you can feel secure in that job. Like start investing on the side, or take more hours if that makes it so that you have a better relationship with your boss or with your coworkers. It's like, take the steps so that fear is gone, because you've taken control of your life in the small levels. Like it is, because I feel like that phrase of take control of your life, it's like an umbrella term, where what does that really mean specifically for each person? It means make small moves every day so that you feel like you're more in control. Because usually what the nightmares are about is not being in control, which is where the confusion comes in. You're not in control of your thoughts and being able to comprehend and understand what's happening around you. Or, I feel like that's usually the majority of nightmares, is like we don't understand what's going on or why, but we're scared. We're trying to run away. Why is this person trying to get me? What's happening? But that's another thing where in the real world, if you just have a fear that someone's going to break into your house, we got to figure out where that's coming from. But usually that's from TV shows and movies that people watch where they see that. And then the thought is in there. You've seen it happen, whether it's real or not. If your subconscious can't differentiate between it's seeing something and it being fake, or it's seeing something and it being real. If you see something, it goes into your memory, it goes into your mind. And then later on, like if you saw somebody break into somebody's home, like nobody wants that. That's why locks exist. But then if you have that fear, like, oh, what if, instead of what if I have a perfectly safe week, instead it's, what if somebody's doing something and they want to pick my home? And no, that's TV, movies. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but keeping your thoughts not on that and on what you do want and what you feel good about and what makes you happy and what makes you feel safe and secure, that's what you're going to manifest. That's what that whole concept of that is. What do you think about? You're going to draw it to you. We are magnetic beings. That's how we draw people to us. Most people are not alone if you start going outside and interacting with people. If you take the move, because many people have a fear of socialization. When it comes to that, what would you do? What would you do if you're scared of people? Start meeting people. And then you'll start seeing everybody isn't these, whatever image you had of what people were that was causing said person to stay away or stay at home or be a recluse. It's like many of us have gone through a hermit mode or a recluse mode where we kind of stay to ourselves. But we're getting into a time where as people learn more about what's going on, about how to heal spiritually, about how to heal past traumas and things like that, then it's easier to move forward and make connections and step into this magical world that we're creating and that we all are a part of. But it starts with handling our fears and the things that make us feel not safe and not secure. And that gets into the chakras, but that's getting a little deeper. But yeah, it's all based off of what do you want? What do you think about every day? What are you consuming? That's food, TV, movies, friends, books. It's just anything in your day that you experience. Is it helping you feel safe and secure, or is it causing fear or not that? So looking at those different aspects of our own daily life really helps with everything, because you tap into yourself. And then also just getting over fears, that's the biggest thing for me that helped me move into the energy and understand who I am, is because I wasn't scared of the things that were stopping me from moving forward. So that's a big thing, where find out what it is you're scared of and then make moves to learn more so that you can have more control of your own life.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right. Some people are so afraid to do anything, right? Like I hear a lot, I'm stuck. Like, but why? Like, no one's gluing your ass to the chair. Like, what do you mean you're stuck? You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you going to do about it? I don't know. Tell me. Like, I can't tell you what to do. I can tell myself what to do. So some people struggle with that. So I love how you went deep into that. And some people are like, I'm afraid of sleeping because there's nightmares. I'm afraid of living and experiencing life. And I love how you touch on like being social, right? Because so many people are like, how do you go to networking events and meet these people? Like, don't they think you're crazy? So what if they think I'm fucking crazy? Aren't we all a little bit? You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
come on. So I love how you went deep into that. So definitely push yourself out of your comfort zone, right? How are you going to get over anything if you don't freaking do it? So you mentioned the chakras. So many people I meet are like, what the fuck is a chakra? So would you mind going a little bit more in depth on that and explaining the chakras and what they kind of mean?
Yes, of course. So I work heavily with chakras because those are our 7 energy centers. They're spinning wheels of energy. We have 7 of them within our physical body. And that's where the colors of the rainbow come from. Because as we come to Earth, we're spirits. We all know that there's a spirit realm, right? The higher dimensions, spirits doing things. When we finally come into our bodies and we're babies, we have 7 chakras, which are energy centers that determine, or I guess a better phrase is they hold different energies in each color. So the first one is at the base of our spine, and that's called our root chakra, just like the roots of a tree or the root of anything else. That's the main foundation. So the root chakra is red. That's our safety and security center. If you go up a couple inches, that's our sacral chakra or sacred chakra, and that holds our sexual, emotional, and creative energy, and that's orange. Right above that is our solar plexus, which is yellow. It holds our sun. That's why it's called solar or soul, because that's one of the names for the sun in Spanish. And then right above that is our heart chakra. Many people's heart chakras are closed because of traumas that we've been through. And I really help to reconnect with our heart chakra because that's how we actually communicate. We may speak with our mouths. We may do things with our eyes. We may think things, but what you feel here is what's going to determine whether you connect with someone or not. So that's heart chakra. Above that in our throat is our throat chakra, which is blue, and also heart chakra is green. That's why so many heart things are green, and it's also double colored. So either the front or the back, depending on which part of it you're in the most, because we tend to be in our chakras, but I'll explain that a little bit later. So the heart chakra is both green and pink. Green is represents unconditional love, so like the love of nature and everyone else. And then the pink is our romantic love. And that's where the colors green and pink come from when they're used for usually love or nature. And then above that, back to throat chakra, which is blue, that handles all of our communication. So many times when people are having trouble speaking, or it's like public speaking, interacting, socialization, just hearing messages in general, that's all throat chakra. And then above that is the one that everybody knows and loves, our third eye, or we refer to it now as our first eye, because when you close these two eyes and then you go to sleep and you dream, what eyes are you using to see? Yeah, if you think about it, it's like, and also, is there a sun there in dreamland? Like a sun where you're like, oh, it's about 6 p.m., sun's setting. No, because it's a different space. Because I'm trying to, prime everyone's mind to just understand, like, there are different dimensional spaces that we go to. Because we're kind of taught that dreams, and I know this is segueing, I know that we're taught dreams are somewhat not real. Like we kind of make it up, like, oh, it was a dream. No, dreams are real. Take them seriously, and not in a, because I feel like people are, what about nightmares? The nightmare realm is not, it doesn't affect you physically here. Remember, it's to get over your fears, okay? So going back to the third eye chakra, which is purple, that's what we use to connect psychically with other people, with pets. Like, do any of you have pets where you're like, yes, we speak to each other, but I mean, obviously my dog doesn't know words, but I can just look at him and then he knows what I want, or he'll look at me and then I know what he wants. What is that? It's like, that's telepathy, which we use our third eyes where we are able to see each other, but it's on multiple levels. Rather than just looking, you're able to look, sense what the energy is that you're looking at, and then you also get a response that you then send to the other person that you're interacting with. So that's third eye, and also that's for meditation. For anybody that's like, oh, meditation is boring. Meditation is boring until you get good at it. Because when you get good at it, that's when you start seeing visions. And what I mean by that is, you know how you have a widescreen TV? We all have widescreen TV, correct? And we watch TV, Netflix, whatever. That's the same thing that you start to see. It's called your viewing screen. When you start meditating every day, at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then you get to a point where you're like, hey, let me try 15 minutes. And when you're getting into understanding that it's relaxing, it's a singular space for you to go to when life is too much. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm gonna go back to the third eye. Because that happens when I'm speaking multidimensionally, meaning like the concepts that I've learned from up here. Sometimes the thoughts just fly out of my head. It's quite interesting, but it's because they're so high vibrational that it's like I'm trying to hold dream memories right now. It's kind of like that, where it's many people don't remember their dreams. Also, we all dream. Many people just don't remember. But we all dream. You don't just go into some black void to take a nap. It's like, nope, you go to dreamland. So I want everybody to know, like, you're all a part of this. Like, nobody's not in this. And then the last one, number 7, is at the top of our head. It's called the crown chakra, which makes sense because don't kings and queens and princes and princesses wear crowns? Why do they do that? Just like, it's just fashion swag. Got my crown. It's like, no, there's a literal reason, because it represents accessing our top chakra, which is our connection to the universe. It's the way that we are able to connect with the dream dimensions, get messages from grandma that's passed on, or feel that our past relatives are there. Like, how do we just feel that? So because you're able to know that they're there, and then you don't have to physically see them or physically have them touch you to know that they're there with you. So it just gets into the level of psychic realm, because like third eye is when things get psychic, but crown chakra is when you start to know what's going on, because you have access to what I referred to earlier as the Akashic records. It's the cosmic library where everything that we all see, we all have memories. Our brains just cataloging it. It's like somewhat, but when it comes to the higher dimensions and when it comes to spirit realm, the dreamlands, there's a place called the Akashic records that has all of our memories, where when you learn how to astral project or consciousness project, which is where in meditation, where you might see a spiral, which is a portal, or an orb. Many people see light orbs flying around. Those are your spirit guides. Those are your family. Those aren't just, think about it. Why are there lights that you don't know where the source is? Why is that in your sleep meditations, or just in your meditation, or before you go to sleep? What are those lights? Is somebody with a flashlight just messing with you? It's like, no. Our guides, our family, when we're not in a body anymore, because when we're talking about grandparents, let's stick with grandparents. When our grandparents leave, they go into their spirit mode. That's why it's called passed on or pass over. It's not called disappear into disintegration. It's not called that, or we don't know. It's pretty much just disappear. Like, I used to be scared when I die, you disappear. I'm like, what happens? It's like, no, we go to the dreamlands. Like, that's why dreams can get so amazing and so fun. Yes, there's the times where it's scary, or we have an X pop up or something like that. But don't you all remember those dreams we used to have as kids where you're flying and things like that? Like, these are real places, just like here. They just have different rules and how they operate. But like I said before, we all are a part of this because we all dream, whether you remember it or not. So many of us, and many of my clients, many of my friends, many of just the people that I know, we're working on raising it's like your higher chakras, which is the top three. So throat chakra, third eye, and crown. It's about raising the vibration of these energy centers so that you have more consciousness when you dream. Because when we dream, we manifest things. Meaning, if you see yourself get a new car in your dreams and you keep dreaming that dream, you are you're magnetizing with your third eye that new car. Because many people say, oh, I knew this was going to happen, or deja vu, or I saw this in a dream. Yes, you did, because we go there every night and you come back to Earth because we all have a mission here. We all have a job. We also are finding out what they are. So I don't want anybody that's seeing this to worry, like, I don't know what my mission is. We're all discovering it. I just found out what my cosmic mission was last year. It was a year ago. I've been training for years, but last year was when it was time for me to know. And this is me doing my mission, where I'm meant to meet anyone and everyone that wants or needs my help or the information that I'm receiving. Because it's for all of us. It's not my information. It isn't like, oh, I'm so happy you guys listen to me. No, I'm here to give you information so that you can then awaken to who you are, to what you truly want to do, so that you can get good at manifesting. And I use these words because the whole word manifestation is kind of being thrown around in the dirt, I feel like. Where people are like, oh, what is that? It's like, it's you thinking about what you want, sometimes writing it down, just like how we journal. Yeah, that's a journal what you want, not just what you're thinking. It's like, because that's another thing. How do we manifest? By focusing on what you want. That's the key. Focus on what you want. And if your mind starts drifting, go back to what you want. So if you want a new job, think about that instead of the job that you're at, that you're like, oh, I don't like this. Don't focus on that. Just know that you're there because it's helping you get to the next step, rather than focusing every day, like, oh, just this job. We've all been there. We've all had the job that sucks, But the thing is, are you going to stay there forever and allow that to be your existence? Or are you going to start thinking about what you want, seeing that? For me, I'll put a picture of where I want to move on my background screen on my phone and my iPad, because then every time I go on my iPad or my phone, I'm subconsciously seeing where I want to go, rather than anything else. So that's something that everyone can try. It's like, whatever you want, you can test it, even with a rose or a feather, or or a piece of candy. Test it. Put what you want on your background screen, and then and I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. It happens when you essentially allow it to. So that's a thing. If something's not coming into your life, it's because you're not vibrationally ready yet. Meaning we can even take vibrational out of it. You're just not ready yet. And when you are ready, that's when our guides will bring it to us. Because our spirit team, just like any other team, they're not here to bring us things that we don't want or bring us like issues. They're here to bring us what we do want and help us to receive that. So there's a lot going on, but the chakras is where it starts. And I know I went all over the place, but it always comes back to we are in charge of what's going on, but we have to learn what that even means. And if you don't know what a chakra is, it's time to learn, because you have 7 of them in your body. Every human, even animals, have chakras. Not all animals have all 7, just like how not all animals can speak. You know, like there's different levels to the animal kingdom in regards to humans. It's like, yeah.
No, it's perfect. No, I love how you tie everything to like terms that people understand, right? Because people who aren't in the spiritual world, they just don't understand. And when you say the word spiritual, this is what I'm saying. They're like, whoa, back up. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Pump the brakes. No, I'm not talking to you anymore. People get so afraid of it, and it's like, what is there to be afraid of, right? So what would you say to someone who's like, I'm not about that spiritual world, but I'm kind of interested in the chakras and stuff. And I kind of, because someone said to me, I kind of want Reiki, but nobody touches me. So what does that mean? And I know you're a Reiki master. So if you can touch on that too, like, what is that? What happens in a session with you?
Okay, so in regards to Reiki energy, we should start with the word Reiki. So Reiki is a Japanese word. I don't know why it hasn't been translated. It's like, why is that not translated? So Reiki means life force energy. That's what that word is. So if you ever hear Reiki energy, Reiki healing, Reiki cord cuttings, it all has to do with life force energy, which is what we're a part of, which is what makes everything move. Everything in existence has life force energy in it, which we can refer to as a spirit, because a spirit is a version of life force energy. And we use this life force energy through Reiki mastery and training to help shift and move energies that are stagnant or stuck within the physical body. And then that allows things to start moving again. So, you had asked earlier, what does it mean when people say that they're stuck? What is that? Their energy is literally not moving. Our energy is supposed to be moving around us clockwise. That's our aura. And within us, it should be moving clockwise. And then our chakra wheels, the 7 colors of the rainbow, are also moving clockwise. So everything should be moving, just like how you don't wake up and then not move. Like you might for a little while, but you wake up, get up, brush your teeth, get ready, go to work, make your content, whatever is going on. Okay, sorry, I'm losing my place. The Reiki work. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Okay, we're talking about the Reiki energy and then moving it around. Okay, everything's moving in a circle. Okay, yes. So the reason why people get what's called Reiki healings is because they feel emotionally or even physically not at their best. So you can go to a physical doctor or you can go to a spiritual doctor. That's a thing that's very big in most other countries, where it just depends on what you prefer, what you're into. And so when it comes to the spiritual world, I feel like I'm doing this all the time, but a lot of things like have to be in quotes. So when it comes to the spiritual world, when it comes to the spiritual world, we all are spirits. So we can be healed by life force energy, which is what we all are a part of. So let's just say that someone has never been able to get, let's go with work. They've never been able to get what's it called when you get like a promotion? Let's say somebody has never been able to get a promotion. Like, I've been working here for 15 years. Like, how have I not gotten a promotion? Most likely there's energy blockages within your body, your energy centers, and around you that's causing you not to be able to move forward because your energy isn't changing or shifting or vibrating higher or improving. It's just staying the same. So when it comes to Reiki work, like let's say someone comes to me, I will look at their aura, look at the color that their aura is, because our aura is correlated with our chakras. Like let's say their aura is red. That means that they're in their root chakra, which means there's issues with their safety and security center. So I would bring in different versions of light, because we work with light. That's what the life force energy is. It's high vibrational light. And it's all different colors. There's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then violet. And then we even get into ultraviolet, but that's with my Odin Reiki work. So we bring in these high vibrational versions of light into the body, because remember, we're made of light. So bringing light in is actually how you heal our light body. I like that's light body. So we bring it, so I bring that in, and then by bringing in the light, the negative vibrational energy, or the dark energy we'll call, because it usually doesn't look like light, that energy gets shifted out of the body. And then the client is able to then use that energy. And this isn't something that you have to know how to do. It's just like going to the doctor. It's like, you don't have to know how the doctoring happens. You just listen to what the, I guess what the diagnosis is, and then what's going on with the healing. You know, like that's, pretty much all that you need to do on your end. Like, because there are beings like me where I went through all the full training so that you all didn't have to, because not everybody wants to become a Reiki master. They might want to do something else in the spiritual realm, or in general, just do something else. So, yeah, so getting your energy shifted, which is what a healing is very important right now, because many people have never had an energetic healing. There's also things called cords that are attached to us from just different people in our lives, usually people that we're in love with. So usually it's based off relationships, whether that's family, friends, lovers. And then if we don't have those cords cut, just over time, when we choose to separate from somebody, like let's say somebody's like, okay, I broke up with Johnny. If you don't energetically have the cord cut for you, then you're still connected to Johnny forever. And like, not in a negative way, it's just you have an energetic connection to everyone that you've ever been in love with or had love for. So something that I do is I detach you from all of the cords that are draining your energy, because many people that we know drain our energy unknowingly. They think that it's just something else, or they're just tired that day, or you're just tired that day. Be aware of the people around you that cause you to feel tired, because you shouldn't feel tired around people. It isn't like we're doing any physical work, that's, unless you are, of course, but just in general, being around friends or family should not drain you. And if that is happening, you want to locate where that's happening so that you can have all of your energy every day, so you can manifest or magnetize and bring in the things that you think about. It's hard to bring in the things that you think about, like let's say a new trip to Cabo. It's hard to do that when you have a lot of family members, friends, and old lovers pulling at your energy that allows you to be happy and make the decision and take that chance. Those are all high vibrational energies, where if you're worrying about, like this over here, and then, their problems over there, and then I got to take care of this and that. And of course, take care of your responsibilities, but many of us hold on to and carry the responsibilities of others that we actually have no place doing, because it's not our problem, not our issue. We are all supposed to handle the things that come into our life and then equalize them, transmute them, like get to that next level, that next place. But like I was saying, it's hard to do that when we have all of these things that people are projecting into our energy, really, because it's all energy. If you have people in your life that bring you sadness, they don't bring solutions, I would reconsider being around them all the time. I'm not saying cut people off. It's just because that's not what cutting the cord is. Cutting the cord is severing. So let's just say we have a coworker that always asks us to take their shifts. They always show up late. They blame us for things, and it's just a situation where we want to get out of it. What I would help with is I would cut the cord to that person. So then when you go to work, they're not able to talk to you and then get you in trouble or just cause any negativity. Like the cord cutting just cuts away any negativity that other people are causing in our lives, because we've had these cords attached forever. And that's one of the things why I became a Reiki master, is because in my Reiki training, I learned that we all have cords that are attached to every person that we've ever been in love with. And I know for myself, there's a lot of people that I've been in love with in the past. And so once I was able to have those cords severed, I felt free. Just straight up, I felt released, free. I didn't have them just pop up in my mind randomly. Like I'm just, you know, driving to the store, and then like a crazy situation with my ex from 5 years just shoots in my head, and then I'm like sad about that. That
Right.
stops. Me having my exes pop up in dreams, or just people, or like bullies from high school, stuff like that. How it'll pop in our dreams, like, oh, this is a nightmare. It's like, it is, but it's because you still have cords. Like these people are still energetically attached. So they can pop up in your dreams, they can pop up in your memories and affect your day and your energy, whether they know it or not. So having the cords cut allows you to have freedom from energies and memories that you don't want anymore. And I think that that's something, because I've heard people say, like other energetic healers, they'll bring up the fact that they believe that cords should never be cut, because they say, why are they there in the first place? But the thing is, we can say that for anything. Like if you have a family member that, you know, isn't really the nicest, it's like, I don't know, like there's just a lot going on where we should be able to detach if we want.
Right.
And I come from that position of whatever you want, you should be able to get. As long as it's not hurting anyone else. If you want to detach from an ex or a family member, you should be allowed to do that. So then I'm here to help with that. Yeah, because a lot of people, they stay away from what's referred to as, we can say, shadow work. But the thing is, our shadow is our wounded inner child. It's not some dark, evil, demonic being that's floating around. It is our wounded inner child. All of the traumas we went through, the sadness, that time when we couldn't have the ice cream or the lollipop or go to our friend's house or have that birthday party, whatever it is. If we didn't heal from that, which most of us were not taught how to do that as a child, you know, we're taught, keep going, keep going, keep going. Now it's time for us to take a pause, stop, and then go back into the past where we were hurt and heal that, because it's still there. You know, even though we may ignore it, we may act like it's not there, we may pretend, where did it go? It's still within our chakras, within our energy centers. So as we go through our what's referred to as our awakening, which is finding out about the chakras, finding out that you have options like cord cuttings and going to metaphysical shops and getting books on concepts that you've never heard of, or things like astral projection. I thought that was fake. I thought astral projection was like a myth or a fantasy, until I bought a book called Astral Projection for Beginners. And I started doing the meditations and the exercises. Now I can astral project, which means I can send, it's like a copy of what I look like now into my meditations. And I can float around and talk to other beings. You know, like it's really fun. It's not scary or anything. It's really fun. But I grew up thinking that these things were fantasy. But in reality, why are there books written on it if it's like non-factual trash? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, wait, there's a lot of books on this? Like people spent time, because writing a book is not just like a simple, like, oh yeah, just, you know, took me 10 minutes. It's like, no, it takes time, effort, you know, like getting published, coming together with people reading your information and, you know, and finding value in it. Like there's so much information for us to delve into, and many different avenues that everyone will find interesting. But meaning that there's so many different avenues. Like I said, just go to a metaphysical shop and just look around. You're gonna have so much fun. Because same with, okay, so getting back into crystals, we are crystals. Like as humans, we are a physicalized, able to move around crystal. So when you're around crystals, you carry crystals. We use crystals for protection. We use crystals to connect. This is my jade. It helps me connect with my heart chakra. It's like there's just many different tools, because many people don't know that crystals also are real in the sense of they hold a vibration that can affect us. That's how you improve your dreams. The two crystals I tell everybody to get is blue kyanite and blue calcite. Those two crystals will help you remember your dreams. You just put it under your pillow and just keep it there until you remember your dreams. It might take 2 days, it might take 2 weeks, it might take 2 years. It just depends on where you're at in your own spiritual awakening. But is there really a rush? Like, are we in a rush for something? Are we in a race to get somewhere? No, we're not. We all want to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. That's out there for everyone, but you just have to learn how to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So what would you say to someone who's like, I'm afraid to go to, a metaphysical shop? Because look, my first time, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I feel
Yeah.
awkward. I don't know these crystals. All these people are talking to me. Like, what do you need help with? I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't know. Like, would you say just walk in and just see what comes? Or should they have an idea of like what to go look for?
It really depends. Like if you're an adventurous person like me, just
Mhm.
you can go on Google Maps or whatever your map is and just type in metaphysical shop or crystal shop. Like it's very simple. And there's usually local ones around. If there isn't, you can go online, Amazon, the website and app Etsy, ETSY. That's where all of the mom and pop stores are at. So that's an easy way to get legitimate crystals and books and things like that. If you don't have any local shops, but I would always suggest going to your local shop.
Mhm.
But I think that it has to do with, yeah, because it goes into the fears. Because if there's a fear of like speaking to people, you don't have to speak to people. You can go into the shop and just, like you can be you. And that's why I love crystal shops and metaphysical shops, because the people that are drawn to work there, they're very similar to those of us that are interested in spiritual realm things and just bettering our lives, honestly. Like it doesn't even have to be spiritual. It's because we are spirits naturally. So
Mhm.
even saying spiritual is kind of mind tricky
Yeah.
because we all are a spirit. So how can something be of the spirit, which is what spiritual means, of the spirit? It's like, no, if we really look at it, we are spirits first, and we have bodies that we drive like cars. And then when your car body gets tired, what do you have to do? You have to go to sleep and leave it and go to the dreamland.
Mhm.
It's like we have to literally leave our body so it can recharge. And then when it's ready, we come back. It's like, yeah, I'm back. Yay, I need some food. It's like we come back, but that's when we pop into our body, gotta feed it, gotta work it out, gotta do things, but we are spirits first. So if you go to a metaphysical or crystal shop, you're just going to connect with other spirits, whether that's the books or that's the crystals or the people. Like I love talking to the people because they're crystal people. I'm
Right.
like, hey, what? And you can also ask questions. That's a big thing.
Mhm.
I've learned in life, ask questions no matter what. When I go to a restaurant, instead of looking through the whole menu, I ask the waiter, what's your favorite thing? And usually I get that because it's going to be delicious because they work there and they're going to have a favorite thing. Same
Mhm.
with going into a crystal shop. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for blue. And they're like, come right over here. Rather than me going in and fearing that somebody's going to make fun of me or make me feel bad. It's like, where I'm guiding you all to go, which is the metaphysical and crystal shops, they're already in that high vibration. That's why we're going there to get these high vibrational items and things so that we can then add it into our space, whether that's bracelets, like necklaces, just a physical crystal.
Mhm.
Adding these new things into our space is going to naturally improve it. Just like adding new furniture. Adding new furniture isn't going to take away,
Mhm.
from the aesthetic or the energy. It's going to add to it. Same with crystals. You can, okay, so just came to me. So if you're scared of going to a crystal shop, just buy them online.
Mhm.
It's all good. Like you don't have to go into a crystal shop. Some people are like, I'm not going. It's like you don't have to. Just go to the online crystal shop and then have the mail person bring it to you. No interaction needed. But it is time to start interacting with crystals because, like I said, they are us. We are them. Why would you not want help from something that is you?
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
don't we go to family first? Yeah,
Mhm.
because we share an energetic connection.
Yeah.
Same with crystals, everybody. You'll love it, I promise.
It's like, and the people at the crystal shops are the nicest people. So it's like nothing to
Yeah.
be afraid of. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, but I like that. If you're afraid, everything you can find is online.
Yep,
So
just go
don't forget.
online.
Yeah. So Justin, what last piece of advice will you give to listeners who want to get more in touch with, their spiritual awakening or everything you mentioned too, like even a spiritual aside, like, okay, I want to be able to level up and stop being afraid. What last piece of advice would you give to people?
I would suggest first to trust yourself, but learn what that means. So you got to learn what it means to trust yourself because many of us, we hear voices, right? We just hear voices.
Mhm.
Who is it that's speaking to you? Is it your higher self? Because we all have a higher self. We
Mhm.
all have a a god and goddess version of ourselves, because, like, imagine the Greek gods like a glowing being. We have like a super smart, super intelligent, can see a little bit into the future version of ourselves that's always looking down and giving us guidance. But our spiritual awakening is about us learning how to discern the voices. Is this voice you, or is it an energy around you? Is it a parent? Is it a friend? It needs to be you. And getting crystals, learning things from different spiritual books and from different spiritual people, watching people on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram that have more spiritual information and are talking about high vibrations and manifestation. It's like surrounding yourself with people and energies and items and thoughts that are going to help you learn who you are, and to hear your own internal heartbeat and your own internal guidance is what's going to set you on your spiritual path, which is your awakening to who and what you really are. We're taught that history is lost to time. That's not true at all. Everything was translated. Everything has always been translated. And I'll start with Egypt. The hieroglyphics were translated by the high priests. The Alexandria was burned, but the thing is, that's not the only library that existed that had information. Sometimes we're told that, so then we stop looking into it. But in reality, all of our information is still here. We're not lost. It's just that there's so much information. It's hard to know what's true, what's real. You will always know. If you go to, let's just say you choose to go to the metaphysical shop. You go to the books. You're looking at the books. A book is calling out to you. That whole experience is guidance from what I refer to as our higher self. How did you end up at that specific shop? How did you end up in front of those specific books? How did you end up with that specific book in your hand? It's not an accident. It's not coincidence. It's guidance. You were guided. You followed the messages. You followed your true voice. So when you start to go with the guidance, like let's just say during the day, something says something. Usually we say something told me. That's our higher self. Something will say, go into the forest. Go with that. We're taught like, oh, why would I do it? And then we counter the guidance. If something is, it's something that feels good, because that's another thing. If you hear a voice, let's just say, and I don't want anybody to get scared by voices. I just mean like a thought. If you have a thought that is negative, that's not necessarily you. That can be an energy that's around you. It can be a person that is thinking these thoughts that you picked up on. Because remember, we all have a third eye. We all have the ability to pick up telepathic thoughts, whether it's from people or friends. So going with your guidance and learning how to, meditation is a big way. Just 5 minutes a day, closing your eyes and trying to just quiet and calm your mind so that you can have a quiet mental space. It's the purpose of meditating. Quiet mental space. And then over time, like I said, when you get good at it, you start seeing visions and stuff, like literally, like it's super fun, everybody. Like I love meditating because there's no magic to it. You don't have to do anything except close your eyes. That's it. You just close your eyes. And then you're able to tap into yourself, hear your own voice. And just over time, that's what your life becomes. You know exactly what to do and what not to do because you're in a communion with your higher self. And many people call that version of ourselves God or the creator. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's your spirit form of yourself that's connected to everything. You can trust it. It's you. And it's connected to others. So you can also trust people that are brought into your life that you always want to check in and make sure it feels right, or it feels good, or it feels positive, or just it feels okay. When things get into the, oh, I feel anxious, I feel scared, I don't like this. That's how you know that's not your guidance. That's not your higher self. That's not your heart talking. That's something else. Because otherwise you'd feel good. You'd feel okay. You'd feel happy. You'd feel neutral. You'd feel positive. You'd have good thoughts about it. So check in with yourself before you make a decision. Does this feel good or does this not feel good? Do I feel anxious? If I feel anxious, why? Am I just scared for no reason? Am I scared because I watched a scary movie yesterday? Or should I push through this little bit of fear because there's going to be something for me at the crystal shop? So it's about us pushing ourselves, not too much, at our own pace, but moving forward with that guidance. And that's one of the main things that everyone, I believe, should be made aware of, is that you do have a higher self. You do have an internal compass. It's just about learning how to listen to it. So I think that would be the most important, because once your higher self is like, yeah, go left today. Okay, go to this Starbucks. Okay, maybe you might want to try the chai tea latte today. All of that is your higher self, because you doing these things, because for me, anytime I listen to the guidance, I always have a good time. It's always good. Or I have a learning experience. I'm like, oh, that's why I was guided there. Okay, oh, I was supposed to meet these people and help heal them, or help give this information over here, or receive this information from this person. Because I'm not done learning. I'm learning every day, but I also have information that other people haven't heard yet. And that's why I'm on these platforms, so I can give it, because I've been looking my entire life to know what's going on. And now that I've found it, which is, we're here to be happy and have experiences and do our cosmic job. It's like, then it makes life a little more easy to deal with and a little bit more enjoyable and something to look forward to. You all have a cosmic job. Now it's about finding out what it is.
Right.
And your cosmic job is going to be your favorite things to do, honestly. I've always helped heal people, but it was through helping or taking people to the airport, holding the space, listening for hours, however long it was. Like, hey, my friends need me, I got it.
Right.
It's about us finding who you are, what you love to do, and then pursuing that. And then how can you not be happy? How can you not be content, at least? This is not even going to happy, because some people are like, what do you mean happy? That's crazy. Just content, just okay with what's going on, And there's ways to do that now. Like you don't have to be stuck or trapped or lost or scared. There's ways for us to get out of those energies so that we can be happy and confident and okay with life, which is what I want for everybody. I want everybody to be okay with life.
Oh, I love that. Oh. That was like perfect. A mic drop right there. No, that was amazing. So let everybody know how they can find you, get in touch with you, get more Justin in their life.
Okay, so you can go to my website. It's www.theingramexperience.com. My name is Justin Starr Ingram. That's why it's the Ingram Experience, because how else can I explain what I do except, put my family name on it. So that's the ingramexperience.com. I also have a book. It's called The Ingram Experience Awakening, and you can get that on Amazon. And then I also have all of my social media platforms. So that's going to be YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, which is my biggest one. It's going to be The Ingram Experience. So I try to make it easy for everybody, because it's, it's time for us to connect, not like make things hard. It's like, let's make it easy.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your knowledge and everything that I've learned a lot just listening to you. And I've been listening to you for a while. So I'm going to re-listen to this too, but I will put all the information, you guys, on this episode. So please follow Justin. You're going to learn even more. If you thought this was good, wait until you listen to his lives and listen to him every single time he's live. So thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And we'll see you again soon.
All right, and thank you so much too.